Hello everybody, welcome to another League of Legends Season 6 patch 5.24 guide. In this guide we're going to do Tristana, who is one of the strongest AD carries at the moment. She has an attack speed steroid from her Q, as well as very long attack range from her passive. She even has a built-in escape. She has every single thing you want in an AD carry. In this guide we're going to cover her pros and cons, her masteries, runes, summoners, abilities, her ability leveling order, her item build, and a few gameplay tips for Tristana as well. This is one of our requested guides. Our next requested guide is going to be on Rengar. So if you guys have any champions you guys would like to see, please leave them in the comments and I'll make sure to do those in order. As well, please like and subscribe if you guys enjoys the video. So let's hop right into it. We're going to start by hopping right into the pros and cons for Tristana. Her first pro being she has high early game damage. With her rocket jump and her E, as well as the attack steroid from her Q, she can dish out tons of damage in a small duration. One of the really good things about Tristana is she has a really strong late game as well. She has the increased attack range from her passive, as well as her attack speed from her Q getting really strong as the game goes on as well. While already having great attack range and great attack speed, she even has an escape as well. She literally has all of the qualities in order to be a very strong AD carry. As strong as she is, she still has some cons, one being that she is rather squishy early game. This is why when we get to the rune section, we take the health seals instead of the typical armor seals, because she does not have a lot of health in the early game, and because she rocket jumps into fights, having the increased health makes it very strong. Another con is that she can get caught by hooks when she's mid-jump. It's very easy to see the path that she's going to jump and be able to predict where. So if you're against something like a Thresh, if they're a good player, they can easily determine where you're heading and hook you mid-air to cancel your rocket jump. This is still more a pro than a con, having the built-in escape. However, you need to keep in mind if you are against something like a Thresh that he could cancel you mid-jump. One last con is that Tristana automatically pushes the lane because you're maxing your E first, and when you kill a minion with your E, it does AoE damage. This can be a problem if you're wishing to freeze the lane, as when you're killing targets, you're not really going to be able to because every minion around is taking damage. Next, we're going to talk about the masteries Tristana takes, which is 18 ferocity and 12 cunning. And note that there is one small change in the mastery tree in 5.24 for Tristana. So she takes 4% attack speed first, followed by 20 health when killing a unit on a 25-second cooldown. This is the skill that got a small nerf, as it used to be 20 seconds, so her lane sustain gets a little smaller. We then next get 10 attack damage and 15 AP at level 18, followed by 1% more damage per each unique champion killed, followed by 7% armor pen, and finally crits on enemy champions heal for 15% of the damage dealt and give 20% attack speed for 4 seconds. We then go down in the cunning tree by first getting 5 bonus damage to minions in order to last hit easier, followed by the biscuits and potions plus elixirs lasting 10% longer, followed by 5% more damage to targets below 40% health, and finally champion kills and assists restore 5% HP and mana. These masteries are taken in order to get as much damage as possible, as well as increase your lane sustain. Next we look at Tristana's runes, and as I said before, there is one small change in the typical AD carry runes you take. So we take 9 greater marks of attack damage, followed by 9 greater glyphs of magic resist, followed by 9 greater seals of health, and 3 greater quintessences of attack speed. As I said before, we take the 9 greater seals of health because Tristana usually ends up rocket jumping into fights, at least in the early game, and this helps with more effective trades. As for summoners, we take the traditional heal and flash. For AD carries, we take flash because it's used for chasing, escaping, repositioning, and many more things. Heal gives you both health and movement speed, which gives it more than one use. It can be used for escaping and kiting, as well as heal yourself or a teammate. As Tristana, you could take Ignite instead of heal if you plan on rocket jumping into fights more often and getting higher kill potential. I'd only recommend doing this if you were partnered with something like a Blitzcrank or Leona in order to get easier kills. Next, we're going to look into each of Tristana's skills, starting with her passive, which is called Draw a Bead, and very simply increases Tristana's attack range by 7 each time she levels. Now, a lot of passives in this game do not get better as the game goes on, such as, Fiddlesticks getting 20% magic resist at all levels, but for Tristana, she gets stronger as the game goes on because she does start out as a somewhat small range AD carry, but she's ends up being one of the longest ones in the end. Because of this passive, enemy assassins may have a hard time getting to her, as she does not have to be too close to the fight, as well as having the ability to jump away when they do finally get to her. Next, we look at Tristana's Q, which is called Rapid Fire, which is another very simple to understand skill. You push it, you get attack speed. So activate increases Tristana's attack speed by between 30 and 110% based on level for 5 seconds. You do have to be careful, however, when you do use this skill. As an AD carry, people are going to be trying to get on top of you and whatnot, so when you reposition and you know you can get off 5 seconds of attacking, that would be the most efficient use of this Q, as it does have a decently long cooldown. This skill is what makes Tristana one of the best AD carries in the game. 110% is a massive amount of attack speed, and you can dish out huge amounts of damage for 5 seconds when you have a full build. Next, we look at Tristana's W, which is called Rocket Jump, and is her escape/engage tool. Tristana launches herself to target location, dealing between 60 and 260, plus 50% ability power, magic damage, and slowing surrounding enemies by 60% for between 1 and 3 seconds. Kills, assists, and max stack of explosive charge detonations on champions reset Rocket Jump's cooldown. Since this skill does scale off of ability power, you do only get 1 rank of it early level, since it does not actually scale with the itemization you are going for. When you start to learn Tristana better, you will be able to keep track of when your explosive charge will be detonating, so you'll be able to jump in, do damage, and jump out without taking very much damage. It's also good if you know you're going to get a kill or assist for sure, as you will be able to jump back out after. Next, we look at Explosive Charge, which is Tristana's main skill. So the passive part, enemies explode when slain by Tristana's basic attacks, dealing between 50 and 150, plus 25% ability power, magic damage to nearby enemies. There is a pro and con to this passive, however, the pro being it's easy to farm and push the lane, however the con being if you're trying to freeze your lane, it's kind of impossible because you're doing AoE damage to all the minions whenever you're killing one. So for the active part, Tristana places a bomb on an enemy or turret that explodes after 4 seconds, dealing between 60 and 100, plus 50 to 110 bonus attack damage, plus 50% ability power, physical damage. Each attack and ability charges the bomb's damage by 30%. At 4 charges, the bomb then explodes immediately. The detonation radius is twice as large if used on a turret. This is a good harassment tool, especially if you can get off 4 attacks to get the increased bomb damage, and is very good for taking down towers as well. Tristana's last skill is her ultimate, which is called Buster Shot. Tristana fires a massive cannonball at an enemy unit. This deals between 300 and 500 plus 100% ability power, magic damage, and knocks surrounding units back 600, 800, or 1,000 distance. Not only is this ability good for its damage, it's also good if you need to push somebody away from you to escape or knock somebody back into your team. You can do this by rocket jumping past an enemy and then using your ultimate back towards your team to secure a kill. My favorite use for this skill, however, is to keep enemies off of you. Some champions may use their abilities to get as close to you as possible, however when you push them away, you'll be pretty safe as they cannot get back to you again. Now that we've covered what each of Tristana's abilities do, we're going to talk about her ability leveling order. So first, you take Buster Shot, which is your R whenever you can, meaning level 6, 11, and 16. You follow this up with Explosive Charge, which is your E. You take this at level 1 and is your main leveling priority, so you take it at 1, 4, 5, 7, and 9. Next, you take Rapid Fire, which is your Q, at level 3 and is your second in leveling priority. You take it at 3, 8, 10, 12, and 13. Finally is Rocket Jump, which is your W. You take this at level 2 because it's a safe escape and is your last in leveling priority, as you only need 1 point. So you take it at 2, 14, 15, 17, and 18. Next, we're going to talk about Tristana's item build. You start by taking a Doran's Blade and a health potion. Next, you then take an Infinity Edge, followed by a Static Shiv, Berserker Greaves, a Bloodthirster, Rapid Fire Cannon, and LDR. If you do feel like you need a defensive item, I would replace the Rapid Fire Cannon in this core build, and some of the defensive items you might want to pick up would be a Guardian Angel, Banshee's Veil, or a Mercurial Scimitar. Another alternative is Phantom Dancer. It did get a 5% attack speed buff, however that's not that huge considering Tristana does have 110% from her Q anyways, however this may be better than the Shiv. Knowing how and when to rocket jump is a huge part of playing Tristana. In bot lane, you need to know how your support is going to play, whether you're using it aggressively or passively / defensively. Paying attention to the health of Opponents will help determine if you're going to rocket jump in, knowing if you're going to end up getting at least one kill or assist, as well as if your explosive shot is going to detonate, so you can also jump out if needed. When starting out as Tristana, I would use your rocket jump more defensively, as I see a lot of Tristanas that are new to her jumping in and just dying, since you are a squishy target. If you're certain you're going to get a kill or assist, however, of course, just go in for the rocket jump. We all make mistakes and it may not be enough damage, but that is how you will learn Tristana in the end. Also try to learn when to use your rapid fire. Like I said before, assassins and whatnot will try to get to you at the beginning, so try repositioning first, then using your Q, as you know you can get at least 4 or 5 seconds of auto attacking off to shred the enemy team. I'd also suggest using your ultimate more defensively rather than offensively. Jumping in and ultimating your target backwards into your team can easily cost you your life as well, so try to use it more defensively to create space between you and the enemy team, at least at first. I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I will have many more League of Legends videos coming out in the near future for patch 5.24, the first one being Rengar, as it has been requested. If you guys have any other requests, please leave them. I'd like to give a big shout out to all the subscribers I've been receiving. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I'm going to be giving away like skins and whatnot in the near future, so for those of you that have subscribed, you'll be eligible for those as well. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next guides.